I can still recall the exact moment I asked my wife that question. We were in the living room, and I had just returned from meeting a colleague. During our conversation, he passed me his phone to show me something. As I scrolled through, my breath caught, there it was, a photo of my wife. But it wasn't an ordinary picture. It looked personal, the kind of image meant to be sent privately. My chest tightened, and I knew I couldn't just let it go. When I got home, she was sitting comfortably on the couch, casually scrolling through her own phone as if nothing was wrong. I stood there, holding my breath, before the words tumbled out. "Why is your picture on his phone?" The instant she heard me, her face drained of color. She froze, her hands trembling, unable to form a response. That silence screamed louder than any excuse ever could. I pressed again, this time more forcefully, demanding answers. "Why does he have your picture?" She still wouldn't speak. Her eyes dropped to the floor, refusing to meet mine. My chest felt unbearably heavy. Even before she confessed, I already knew I was standing in the middle of a betrayal. Her silence was the loudest admission. After what felt like hours, she finally whispered, "It's not what you think." But I had heard those words before, and they always meant the opposite. I asked her to explain. She shook her head, unable to put together a convincing sentence. I saw the panic in her eyes, the way her world was crumbling, and yet mine had already collapsed. I sank onto the couch, burying my face in my hands, struggling to process the blow. This was the woman I loved, the person I had trusted with my whole heart. And now, another man had something so private of hers. I felt sick. She reached for me, but I pulled away. The room grew heavier with each second, the ticking of the wall clock pounding in my ears like thunder. Then she whispered her excuse. "I sent it by mistake." A mistake. That was the story she expected me to believe. Nobody accidentally sends intimate photos to another man. My trust was crumbling piece by piece. I demanded the truth, only the truth. Tears welled in her eyes, and at last she admitted she had been speaking to him for some time. "It started as casual chats," she said, "but eventually it crossed boundaries." Her words cut deeper than any blade. Suddenly, every late night when she claimed to be busy, every distant moment, all of it made cruel sense. I didn't shout. I didn't smash anything. I just sat in silence, the same silence she had given me moments before. The pain pressed against my chest so hard it felt like I couldn't breathe. She begged me to forgive her, swore it meant nothing, insisted I was the only one she loved. But how could I believe that? Her actions had already destroyed what we had. That night stretched endlessly, filled with broken words and tears. She apologized over and over, while I stared at the wall, wondering how our marriage had unraveled to this point. My heart was split between the love I once felt and the harsh reality of betrayal sitting right in front of me. Days turned into weeks, but nothing was the same. Every time she picked up her phone, suspicion knotted my stomach. Each notification sounded like another wound. Trust, once broken, doesn't mend overnight, and in this case, it wasn't just cracked, it was shattered. I told her I needed space and moved into the guest room. She cried every night, knocking on the door, pleading with me to talk. But I couldn't. I didn't know if our marriage could survive this. A part of me wanted to walk away completely, yet another part clung to the memories of who she used to be before all of this. Even now, I can still hear my own voice from that night. "Why is your picture on his phone?" And I still see her frozen face, silent, unable to answer. That silence will haunt me forever, because it was the moment I realized the woman I trusted most had become a stranger. In the end, I made my choice. I told her love without trust means nothing, and I couldn't live inside a marriage built on lies. I filed for separation. She begged me to stay, but I walked away. It wasn't easy, but I knew I deserved honesty and peace. Her silence gave me all the truth I needed. And with that, I closed the final chapter of our story for good.